I'm in a couple must.
Week 13. Hopefully it's lucky week 13. We got this week and one more for most regular leagues before the playoffs start. It's hard to believe we are here, but I guess I've been saying that since like week 4. Can't believe we're already to this point of the season. Guys, every week you tell me you're pretty much where you want to be with your teams. If you're rebuilding, it's going well. For the ones you're competing in, it's going well. Same hold up week 13. Sully?
Yeah, I think so. I had a good week in the Scott Fish Bowl last week. I went from like 1250th up to 15th or 13th at one point. I just pulled it up. I'm sitting at 638th right now. I think there was a lot of points scored on Thursday, which probably dropped me down, but I'm starting Jake Browning and Tim Boyle this week. Those are my quarterbacks. So
at least you get to add your season average in, right? To kind of help
you do.
With that since there's
you do, and there's no negative points. So that helps you massively.
Last year that would have been rough.
Well, I would have just started me. But you just need 2 feet and a heartbeat for a quarterback. But Josh Allen, and when I drafted, I took my 2 quarterbacks were Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. So I've been literally picking up the Giants quarterback, whoever it's been, every week, and they're on bye this week too. So I envisioned some questions today being pretty disgusting. Like I was looking at some of my lineups today, and my last roster spot, it's like it's a guy that if he scores 2 points, I'll be happy. So. But in a nutshell, I think the teams that I want to do well are doing well, and the teams that I don't want to do that great are not doing that great. Our Superflex league we're kind of in purgatory. We're not good and we're not bad enough. So I don't know what to do there, but for the most part,
that's where I'm at. My team's not good, but somehow I'm 7-5 in the sixth seed right now. Like I shouldn't even be here. And if I make the playoffs, it's almost annoying.
Yeah. Bryce, you still clipping along the way you want to?
Hey, in the Superflex, I got second pick, so it's looking like I'm at least going to get.
And in a normal world, you'd have first pick. Yeah, world, you'd have first pick, but the bottom team is so bad. It's like funny. So
so can't complain. That's going the way I want it. But most of my leagues are good. I got kind of a must win today in one, kind of in two. I got to hold it's a 10-man league, and only the top 4 make it. I'm in 4th. And the tiebreaker, I don't have a lot of points scored, so I gotta hold on to that by just winning because overall record's the only thing going to keep me in the top 4. And then another week, I got the Monday Night Football burned me. The guy had I was up 6 or 7 points, and I had Fields, and he of course had DJ Moore, so that sucked. But my team's pretty good, so hopefully I can hold on, get into that league because my team has come along. I started off like 1-5 in that league, and I think now I'm 6-6 or something like that. So, and then the rest, it looks good. I probably got a lock on the Grand Prix and making the playoffs. It's just now we're fighting for the 1 through 3 seed is kind of a barn burner these next 2 weeks. So it's going good.
Good. So Matt Z needs to know. He's got Cup, Ridley, Puka, Hollywood Brown, PPR. He needs to start 2 of these 4. Sully, which 2 you going with?
I think Ridley would be my 1. Since Zay Jones has come back into the lineup, it's given the Jacksonville offense the flexibility to A, move him around, and B, force defenses to cover somebody on the other side. So when Zay was out, there was no one. So they just doubled Ridley. So he'd be 1. And I think Cup is still my 2. And I know that for anybody who has Cooper Kupp, you've been starting him, and it's been pretty painful. Either he's been out, injured, or he's been ineffective, but he's still Cooper Kupp, and I still think he has the ability to get you 30 points any week. So I'm going to go with Ridley and Cup here and hope for the best. What are you doing, Bryce?
Yeah, weirdly enough, Ridley would have been the bottom of this list 3 weeks ago, and I think now he's on the top. They've got, I mean, he's 2 weeks in a row, right? And at this point in the season with these guys, I think I'm going to ride the hot hand. So Ridley's got to be number one. And then with the rest of these guys, it's been pretty inconsistent play. I guess I'm just going to go with you. I feel like Cooper Kupp's got to have a big week. I think he was out there more last week as a distraction more than an actual player. I don't know if he was fully healthy, and even if he was, they might have just been not really wanting to use him in case, because, I mean, the Rams are in potential playoff spot right now, so they might want to be trying to keep him healthy. But it's kind of a must-win today. It's a tough matchup, but they're going to have to throw the ball because it's going to be hard to move it. It's hard to move the ball, I guess, against the Browns at all. So, yeah, give me Kupp and Ridley. That one's tough. Rick?
Yeah, that Browns, I mean, how good their defense is really throws a wrinkle in this because it would be easily Kupp any other week, right? And basically Cleveland and, well, then what? He gets Baltimore next week. Those are two of the tougher defenses, and with them struggling right now, it makes it a little hard, but I'm with you guys. I'm going Kupp and Ridley as well. I'm never starting against a Browns team or Baltimore two wide receivers from the same team, right? Because if they have that good game, your lineup just goes all the way to shit.
I don't know what happened last week, but going into last week, the Browns defense was allowing 14 completions a week.
Yeah, their defense is
like that's insane.
It's absurd.
Yeah, it's their defense is disgusting. But I'm with you guys. Hollywood, that whole situation, Arizona just too inconsistent. So I'll go with Kupp, who we've seen him have monster games against really good defenses. It's not like he doesn't have a professional QB back there throwing to him with Stafford there. So I'll go with you guys. I'm with Kupp and Ridley.
How do you feel if Kupp goes for 30 something and he's on your bench? That's the other reason why he's in my lineup.
Dirty. And
Good luck, Matt.
C-Dog has Thielen or Kupp. I'm still going Kupp here. Thielen's got Bryce throwing to him, and doesn't matter what game they're playing, they're outmatched. So Thielen's been kind of falling off here lately. He hasn't been putting up the big weeks. Jonathan Mingo's kind of emerging. He's getting more involved in this offense. So I'll stick with Kupp here and take the upside of a Cooper Kupp Stafford connection and just hope Cleveland's not so good that we get another dud from Kupp.
I'm going Thielen here, and I know what I just said. I've just seen what that Tampa Bay defense gives you, and you're going to have to throw the ball on them. They stink, and there might be a little life breathed into the Panthers with coaching changes and such like that. So I think if you're going to move the football on offense, you got to do it with Adam Thielen. So I think Adam Thielen can score, and I think he can probably get as many catches, maybe not as yards as Kupp, but I have Thielen ranked higher this week. I don't feel great about it, but I do.
Yeah, Adam Thielen last week sucked, but the week before that he had 11 targets. The week before that 10, both double-digit performances. He's only had 3 games this whole year under 10 points. He's a pretty safe play. This is tough for me, but I'm going to just lean Adam Thielen because both of these guys have a floor, and they've shown it this year. I would definitely say Kupp's got that ceiling play, so if that's what you really want, I can't blame you for that. But I feel like with these guys, we're not really seeing that big ceiling as much this year, so I'll go with the safer player and Thielen. But it's very close for me. I mean, these guys are neck and neck.
Mr. Grapefruit says, Kyren Williams is the man. I'd buy him a tall beer if I saw him in person. He has been lights out this year. He's been very, very good.
So I just pat myself on the back. So.
You can pat yourself on the back, but Shane Barrett came on before he was even a RotoHeat team member prior to last season. And we put out a video that he was going to outperform James Cook last year and beat out Cam Akers last year. It didn't happen last year. Shane was just a year early. But I'm a Notre Dame fan. I never thought Kyren was this good. I didn't think he was going to be this good in the NFL.
I just traded for him this week. I traded A.T. Perry, Darius Davis, and what probably will be the 202 or 203 to get him, just to solidify my top contending team, and I'm thrilled with it.
So they just gave him to you, is what you're saying?
Well, the pick's like probably the 201 in a super flex league and in what should be a decent draft, but I don't think it's a great trade for that other manager. But I gave him everything I had, and he said, "Yeah, okay," and I said, "Thank you," and we continue on.
Shit. I mean, he's got to be worth multiple firsts at this point, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would do that. I don't know what his long-term projection in that offense is, and he's a running back. Multiple firsts might be a little thick, but he's worth the first for sure.
I don't know, man. I feel like he's got to be worth multiple at this point. I don't think they have so many holes. They're not going to be able to.
I think he's probably worth like a first and a second for sure. Like,
yeah,
probably hard to trade him for that. It's probably one of those guys that are hard to trade. Because he's like
he doesn't have the name. He has the scoring, but he doesn't have the name really.
Right.
It's true.
Which does make it tough. Big Boss says, "Hey guys, happy football. Harris, Connor, Achane, Ford, Montgomery, pick 3. Thanks, fellas." So for me, Harris is in. We've seen it. Canada gone 400 yards after going 19 years without getting 400 yards. First game, Canada's gone 400 yards. Harris, 99 rushing. Good week, but he's been trending up even before that, right? So I'm getting back on the Harris chain. Yeah. I'm getting back on the Harris bandwagon. After that, it gets tough because I want to play Achane, but we saw what happened when he tried coming back the last time, and then he played like less than a quarter. I think Montgomery's got to be in there at this point. Detroit's running game. It doesn't matter who they're playing. You got to play Montgomery. So who's the third, guys? Those are my first 2. Are you guys on board with those first 2, or are you thinking something different with Najee?
Najee's 100% in my lineup, and I'm kind of laughing here because it's like how funny things are and how fast things change, right? Like we're all getting rid of Najee, and he's garbage, and Jalen Warren's the man, and everything else. And not to talk about my Scott Fishbowl team all show, but I have Warren and Najee on that team. I've been starting them both every week for like the last month because they're both getting the ball. But Najee would be my 1 here. Montgomery is definitely in there, and then I can make an argument for the next 3. I was a little lower than you guys were on Connor last week. I was a little worried about him coming back, and he did not look good. But I think he has a chance to bounce back. If Achane was healthy and he was going to play, it'd be a no-brainer. He probably might even be the top of this list. And Jerome Ford's in a good spot, I don't think Joe Flacco throws the ball 50 times this week, but maybe he does. So it'd be Najee, Montgomery, and Ford for me.
I thought Connor looked all right last week. He just didn't get many touches. The one good thing about it was he did get 5 targets, which is what he got all his value from last year late in the season. But I'm going to pump the brakes on him this week as well, even though the matchup's not bad. Najee's in there. Montgomery's in there. I agree. And then I'm going to throw Achane in there. Dolphins are just touchdown monsters. So I feel like he's going to get Achane involved if he's healthy and on there, maybe get some rhythm going for him heading into the playoffs because McDaniels loves speed. So I think Achane has the best chance of falling in the end zone out of these bottom 3 options.
I think I break it down too. If I feel like I need upside, I do Achane because obviously he does. He can be super efficient, but I am a little bit worried about him coming back again. And then, even the last few weeks they've been using a bunch of different guys. Ahmed scored like 12 fantasy points 2 weeks ago, and it's just been a big running back by committee thing going on there. He is probably the best running back, but who knows how careful they're going to be. But he would be my upside play. I'm going Connor over Ford, though. I think I'm going to go Connor, Harris, and Montgomery with Achane as my high upside guy if I feel like I'm in a bad matchup.
Achane's definitely the ceiling. So if you just got, played against Geno Smith and Tony Pollard on Thursday, Achane's probably your guy.
Yeah. Or DK.
Right?
Oh, back or CD.
Or CD. That opening touchdown that DK caught
What a beautiful play. That guy's so freaking fast.
And he got up to 22.3 miles an hour or something.
It reminded me about when he chased down Buddy from Arizona. I can't remember who it was, but he came.
Buda
Buda
Baker.
Baker.
Yeah, he came from like the parking lot and ran him down. It was still one of my favorite plays ever.
So B Ruckus wants to know. He's got Deontay Johnson and Puka, and he thinks Deontay is going to go off today. Should he start him over Puka? Right.
I would.
Sully.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sully.
No,
I'm going to look.
it doesn't matter which order. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I would not. That said, it's your dynasty or it's your fantasy roster, and if you have a good feeling about DJ, then roll with it, man. I just think that it's still Kenny Pickett. George Pickens is still freaking out. Listening to a bunch of different shows, the thing that the Steelers did last week that they refused to do with Matt Canada was throw the ball into the middle of the field, and we just saw what Pat Freiermuth did. So I think there's all of a sudden some mouths to feed in that offense in Pittsburgh. So I think I like DJ. He'd be my top guy there, but I still think Puka has that blow up opportunity. So I would go with him. Bryce?
Normally it'd be Puka, but the matchup makes me pump the brakes and want to go Deontay Johnson this week.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean Deontay Johnson. They both got the same amount of targets last week. I think Deontay Johnson is definitely the best wide receiver on his team. Maybe all this stuff about his I feel like when all this stuff about a player's attitude and effort comes out, they just try to silence all the haters with a big week. I wouldn't be surprised to see that out of Deontay Johnson today. And the matchup is relatively juicy. So in comparison, so I'm definitely going to go. I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson, but it's not by a wide margin. Rick.
I'm with you. I think I'm going Deontay just because of that.
Do we know if Ward's playing for the Browns?
You can look real quick.
If they only get 14 completions today, then it makes it tough for.
I don't really think the coverage is the
or Puka. I mean, not the other.
Is what's causing the. It's more of the pass rush. I think that.
I think it's both. I mean,
forcing the ball.
Pass rush.
Denzel Ward is out.
Secondary is pretty good.
Denzel Ward is out.
And Garrett is going to play, right? Like Myles Garrett popped his shoulder out last week, and he was questionable. But I think he's going to play. So to your pass rush side, I think he's definitely there. I don't know why, but I feel as though the Browns defense. I feel as though the Browns defense, as excellent as it's been all year, is a little softer in the last few weeks. Gardner put up 38 on them. I think the opportunity's there, but you guys make great points about the Arizona matchup and DJ and all this other stuff. So I don't hate this by any way. I think I have this soft spot for the Rams for some reason. I don't know why.
I do. I love Sean McVay. I think he finds ways
I think that's what it is too.
To beat any defense, but when they're this close, it just makes it easier to not go against a tough defense for me.
Yeah, super chat there if you haven't seen it.
Two of them, but the second
go
one,
ahead.
We'll go to the first one. Taylor Meredith.
Taylor, Deontay or Hollywood in PPR. Does Parker have a better day than Higgins? Killed by injuries and buys.
Is that Devontae Parker? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah. I think it's Deontay Johnson. Does Parker have a better day than Higgins?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Devontae Parker? Is that who he's asking?
I don't know what Parker. I'm hoping that's not who he's asking.
Who else could it be?
Did he get? Hey Taylor, did you get auto corrected here or what?
I mean, the only reason he could be asking about Parker is because Demario Douglas is hurt. So I guess that means Devontae Parker is the number one option today with Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham throwing him the ball.
Good God,
I don't know.
Thornton around?
I think so. I have Thornton in a couple of lineups today in the Grand Prix. My $250 run fighting for first place. I've got Tyquan Thornton today. So,
well, Deontay over Hollywood for me, and yep. I think that one's fairly easy. It could be Peter Parker or Spider-Man, or it could be Devontae Parker. Or it could be anybody. I don't have a whole lot of high hopes for the Bengals offense, but I think Higgins comes back and gets 6 to 8 targets minimum, and I don't know if Parker does even get that. So I would go Higgins. Although I think on a side note, Higgins is bad news for Chase, but that's a whole other story. I'm going Higgins over Parker.
Taylor, are you really asking about Devontae Parker? And I only say it this way because I know Taylor, by the way. He's in some of our leagues. I'm open. If you're playing against me in any of our leagues, put Parker in, please.
$4.99. You can ask me anything. I'm that shallow.
All right, we can go back to it if he does answer us in there. Like, why pay us and then leave the stream, you goofball?
So Big Boss did donate.
Thank you, Taylor.
This $2, and then he asked a question a little bit before, so we can pull that up.
Hold on. Taylor says yes. It's Devontae. Play Higgins.
Come on, Taylor.
Against me, play Parker. Yeah.
I feel like we should give him $2 back for that question.
So Big Boss donated $2.
No, he should have paid $2 more to ask us that question.
Hey, it's your show, bro. Whatever you want to do, man.
You don't get discounts for asking about Devontae Parker.
Well, you need help, so I just wanted to go spend the money on getting help. That's all.
I mean, yeah, BetterHelp.com.
Right? Something.
Sorry, Bryce.
All right, Bryce, get us back on the rails, brother.
It says I can afford to play around. Had Dak and Lamb and picked up Cook for Adams and Addison's bye.
Where are you at for this?
It's like two above the Taylor Meredith chat. Because Big Boss donated $2, but then like his $2 donation didn't have a question with it, but this one was asked shortly before he donated, so I don't know if he meant
okay,
to.
I got you.
Yeah. Picked up Cook. Which Cook? Can't be. I mean, James Cook's on bye. Brandon Cook's played. Dalvin.
Well,
that sucks.
I almost started Dalvin today. It was either him or CH, so I'm going to go CH. But this is a ugly week, kids. Like, it's not good. What's he got going on here?
Maybe he meant to ask this. I don't know. Okay. This is an actual. The other one I don't think was a question. I think it was just a statement.
Okay.
Well, he said he would ask his questions later.
Oh, okay.
In here, he said he would ask his questions later, and I think he's just telling us like what he's got going on.
All right.
Well, we'll get you.
Let us know what's going on, Boz. Yeah, what's going on?
It is a tough bye week.
I like Amari Cooper this week with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco will sling it. Whether it looks good or not, he'll sling it.
38 years old, was on the couch. 0 Fs given by Joe Flacco. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants today.
And Amari's been buttering him up this week. He's talking about
why not?
It's like poetry in motion, watching Joe Flacco throw. And I'm going, what Joe Flacco is this? Did he like change his whole game while he was out of the league?
But you remember when Flacco started for the Jets, right? When Zach hurt himself early in the year? And he threw the ball like 65 times, and he threw for 400 and whatever yards. He doesn't give a crap. Like, he's like, what are you going to do? Ruin my career? See ya.
So, yeah.
For sure.
Right? He didn't give a shit.
Doesn't he already have a Super Bowl ring, too? Like,
he does.
He won a Super Bowl with Ravens, then got super paid.
That's what he got. That's what he cashed out. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, so Amari Cooper definitely be a better play.
Yeah, I like Cooper.
Yeah, I like Amari Cooper this week. Yep.
The only thing I would worry about Cooper is I think he might have some bad ribs, but he's okay. He got destroyed last week.
Jonathan says, I have the same problem, 2 different leagues. TD only league, Terry McBride or Pat Freiermuth, and in a standard league also. I'm going Freiermuth in either.
McBride, both. The only hang up is he's a little banged up coming into the week, but you look what Trey McBride has done over the last 6 to 8 weeks. I have started him with confidence in a bunch of different leagues.
I feel like since Freiermuth has been back, he's been pretty relevant.
No, he had one good game and he was a ghost. He's been back for 2 games. He was a ghost in the first one, and he went off in the second.
Yeah, and Matt Canada was there for 1.
It was Cleveland. So
okay, and I get all that. I do.
I'm going Freiermuth as well, but I like both of these guys.
Put it in the book. Put it in the book. Yeah,
I'm gonna stay off of this one.
Yeah, did you get a concussion last week too? Is that why you're not playing this week, or what?
Clothesline. How do you get clothesline?
I was worried about you. I
watched it in person. He had like 9.9 points going into half. I'm like, yes, he's balling out. And then third quarter was slow, and then he gets the kickoff return. It's like, I'm just like, what do I do? Like,
didn't the guys we picked do pretty well too though?
Yes, yeah. I mean,
I think the
all
guys
of them,
we picked-
all the guys we picked. The answer of that thing, is Ty Chandler was the guy that needs to be released because it was like Rashee Rice, Ty Chandler, Jacoby Meyer, and Demario Douglas. Which one should he drop?
I think somewhere Josh
think I said
Jobs just
Chandler.
threw another interception.
So
What an absolute
what?
shit
Now I'm gonna get
show
it. Now I'm
of
gonna
a
go on the
display of life that was.
Infinite Possibilities says, I got A.T. Perry and Jaden Reed. Which one should I play? It's Jaden Reed.
Yeah, it's Jaden Reed easily.
It is, and Jaden Reed is sort of like Debo Light in Green Bay right now because of their situation. He's getting touches through the air and on the ground, and A.T. Perry is A.T. Perry. And I think that he has a decent future at being a decent player, but not yet.
Mr. Bakes a Lot says, good morning. Start 2 in full PPR. I got Ridley, Hopkins, London, and Puka. Thanks, homies. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate all of you that are here. If you would, smash that like button as we're answering Mr. Bakes a Lot's questions. Ridley's in for sure. I'm probably going Ridley and Puka.
That's where I'm at. I'd like to know what Mr. Bakes a Lot bakes as well, just out of pure curiosity. If you could drop that in there in the comments, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Man, didn't Drake London go nuts last week?
He had a couple of catches. Nobody goes nuts in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Bijan did.
And I never trusted to happen 2 weeks in a row.
Bijan's probably going to get 4 touches and none of them in the red zone today, just because Arthur Smith's a different dude.
Arthur Smith heard the fans, and that's why he's changed.
Bryce was right. Twitter.
Bryce was right.
Twitter has spoken.
He went nuts, and I'm like,
Twitter got it done.
Twitter said, okay, look, enough is enough.
Give me Ridley and Puka as well.
All of us on board there. Come on, Rams. Put up some points. Connor or Ford in a 0.5 PPR. I went Connor the last time we had them against each other. I'm going Connor again.
I'm going Ford for the same reason.
I didn't choose either of them last time, but I'm going to go Connor.
I like Ford even more in half point because you talked about Connor doing stuff through the air, but hey, catch is a catch, yards are yards, points are points. But
Connor though, he hasn't played a lot this year, and he definitely hasn't played a lot with Kyler.
He did this last year.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that this year, he hasn't. But when they played together last year, Connor found the end zone a lot when they were scoring. Like he had a high percentage of their touchdowns. I think it's the same thing that happens.
He did. It's a small sample size this year, to your point, but it seems like Kyler's finishing drives this year instead of Connor. Like Kyler's had a rushing touchdown in each game. I think he had 2 in one of them. The thing that surprises me about Kyler Murray coming back is he's been a little rusty throwing the ball. I thought he'd be a little rusty running the ball coming back from an ACL, but he looks like they put a cheetah ACL in there or something. Like he looks like he's as spry as ever. So
he is. He's quick.
Well, I think this coaching staff knows that's a benefit of having Kyler. Like we need to use his legs. That's what makes him so good. And I think they tried to take that away to protect him with Cliff. So I think that's changed a little bit. So Infinite Possibilities. Looks like he's got a limited amount of possibilities this week because he says he's super screwed. He's got Samaje Perine, Tyler Algier, Trey Sermon, or Travion Williams. Which 2 would you choose for the flex, man? This week's rough.
This is the kind of shit that gets us out of bed in the morning. No, I love this crap. And I'm sorry for you, Infinite Possibilities, but
I've got shit like
this is what we all have going on this week, right? So
I think I just went with the first 2.
I am 100%.
Perine Algier.
Yeah,
Perine's in a really good spot right now.
They're the only 2 that have really any upside to get in the end zone. Like
Sermon has a little bit, and
who does Sermon even play for now?
He's the backup. He's the number 2 in Indianapolis all of a sudden.
Oh, okay.
You just totally screwed yourself. You said that Perine and Algier are the only 2 that have a chance to get in the end zone, and now Sermon and Travion are going to have like 5 combined touchdowns.
There's no
Perine and Algier are going to have.
Perine fell in the end zone last week.
So
but they're going to score like 5 points this week. We're talking about this week. You don't get the points from last week.
I'm
now.
just saying.
You don't. And that's actually fantasy football 101. Don't chase the previous week.
He probably scored more points last week than those 2 did have the whole year combined.
But here's what's happening in Denver. They're winning all of a sudden. I don't understand what's happening.
Coach might be good.
Jaleel McLaughlin, who I love and who was a fun story, is kind of fading back. Williams hurt his neck last week, and it sounds like he's kind of iffy. And Samaje is catching all the passes out of that offense and moving the ball. So he's relevant right now. Tyler Algier will always be relevant as long as Arthur Smith coaches the Atlanta Falcons. I'm working on that all week. But Sermon you can't trust. Travion you can't trust. Sounds like Chase Brown they're trying to get going in Cincinnati because Joe Mixon all of a sudden isn't good. It's a tough week, man. And wish you the best and good luck. And this is what makes fantasy fun, though, to me, when you have to dig off the bottom of the barrel. That's fun.
Mike Duke says, I got Rashee Rice and DeAndre Hopkins. Which one am I going with in a full PPR? Rice, who you going with here?
Gotta go Rashee Rice. Seems like he's becoming the top option in the wide receiver core for Pat Mahomes. He does pretty well. I don't think he's anything phenomenal, but there's no competition there, especially consistent player. So, yep, give me Rashee Rice over D Hop. Sully.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. That what are they going to do in Kansas City? Like Rice is the only thing they got left, and it looks like it came to fruition last week. You could make sort of the same argument for DeAndre Hopkins in Tennessee, but this is a Will Levis versus Patrick Mahomes conversation for me.
Yep.
That makes it pretty easy.
Conversation. Yeah, that's not even a conversation.
It's a statement, not a conversation.
It's a bullet point at the bottom of a statement.
Yeah. It's the number 14 noted footnote. That said, I'm going with Rashee Rice, and to a very lesser extent, Treylon Burks is going to be back this week. I don't know if that makes any difference, but it's Rice for me quite easily.
Yeah, it's Rice quite easily for me, and I think that if Rice can get rid of the dropsy issue that he's got, he could be a pretty damn good player. I like the talent. But as a rookie, he's got the same fumbleitis drop problem that the veterans have in Kansas City right now.
Andy Reid doesn't like rookies anyway.
Apparently Patrick Mahomes just maybe he throws the ball too hard for these guys. I don't know. Daniel MVS has had the same issue forever, so
he's just allergic to pigskin. It's no big deal.
He's just fast.
Daniel says, starting Moss, Monty, Tyreek, and Ridley need flex. PPR, Downs, ETN, Reed, Deontay Johnson. I know ETN is choice, but worried about his injury.
Expected to play.
If ETN's playing, he's in there for me. And you only need one? Yeah, if he's expected to play. I know that's also tough waiting till Monday night and then hoping nothing happens in pregame, but I'm going ETN.
I am too. And if you have any concerns whatsoever and you absolutely have to have a floor, I go with Josh Downs against the Titans defense. I think that Gardner's going to have to throw the ball a lot today, but I'm 100% with you guys on ETN.
Yeah, this got to be ETN. I don't know if there's any running back in the NFL right now that's getting as many touches as him on a weekly basis. So you're going to have some wear and tear, especially later in the season with that. But if he's expected to play, I'd imagine he's at least going to get 80% of the volume he normally does, which is still probably 17 to 20 touches.
If there's any chance that Ernest Johnson is on waivers and this is a redraft league and you can pick him up, cover your butt that way, and then start whichever Jags running back on
Very good point. Very good point.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Jonathan Tilley says TD only league for flex. Achan, Rice, or Deontay Johnson. I think I'm going to surprise people, so I'll wait till last. Sully.
I'm going to cop out. So if I need ceiling and I need points, it's Achan, and if it's safety and floor, I'm going to go with Rice here. I just think that Deontay's the wild card here, but I think Rice is the safest play of these guys. So that's.
But so it's only TD only. So I mean.
Well, then I like Rice even more. Deontay scored 1 in 2 years. And I know that's weird and circumstantial, but I'll go with Rice here.
No, yeah, I agree. Deontay's last, and it's Achan for me.
It probably is for me. I just get floor piece.
Yeah.
I was
floor.
I was a week ahead of myself anyway, because I was going to say Rice, because I love Rice next week in a matchup against Buffalo where they're struggling to cover wide receivers, and it's probably going to be a back and forth and a high scoring game. But this week he gets Green Bay, which could be troublesome for Rice.
Where's Jair Alexander? Is he back yet?
That was what my question was. That could be a real tough day for Rasheed if he's got Zaire on him all day.
That dude misses a lot of games too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He does, and he's also one of the most overrated corners in the football.
He's a questionable.
We should know that.
2 years, but that's okay. Soon they're all popping off right now. They're coming out.
He did practice this week, so he's more than likely probably.
So he's probably playing. I'm gonna go Achane as well.
I will say I was pretty surprised at how well the Packers got to the quarterback on Thanksgiving against a good Lions offensive line. So that could be a bit troublesome. Yeah, so that could be a bit troublesome for Green Bay. Like the two lessons I learned last week is the Bears have one of the best defenses that nobody talks about, and the Packers have a good pass rush. So I'm still think I'm taking Rice here though.
Kyler or Goff for Niner?
Who did I rank that this week? I think I have Kyler higher.
Yeah, it's
They'd
Kyler
probably
for
be
me.
pretty close. They'd probably be close
for me as well.
You made the point.
They are close.
He's getting rushing touchdowns. He's getting rushing touchdowns. It's what typical leagues. It's like almost 1.5 passing touchdowns. Yeah, give me Kyler.
Kyler at 9, Goff at 11. I know he's playing indoors, but he's also playing on the road, and Goff is a totally different cat on the road. And Goff's also been a turnover machine the last couple of weeks. He's been pulling it out, but I think he's turned the ball over himself 6 times in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's Kyler.
Here comes the injury report.
Yeah, I just had a bunch come through. Tank Dell was active. Keenan Allen was active.
Chris Olave, Trey Burks, Trey McBride, Breece Hall, Marquise Brown, Noah Brown.
Good. All good.
Yep.
Andre says, morning, fellas. Would you play Ford over Ridley, Mostert, Pittman, Derrick Henry, and half PPR? I am not playing him over any of those guys.
I agree. No way, Jose.
So do I, and the only one that gives me a slight pause is Derrick Henry, and I'm not doing that either.
Mostert would be the one that gives me the biggest pause, just simply because Achane's back, and that running back room does worry me kind of because there's so many and they use them all.
Yeah, it's weird. Hey, but Mostert could also do in 2 touches what more than Ford will do all game, right? So it's just weird.
I mean, big boss, we appreciate that. We appreciate it. That helps.
I'd say we'd give it back to you, but Rick isn't giving money back today. He's nope, no refund.
Well, YouTube already took their cut, so
right,
it'd be a prorated refund.
Here, totally. But Big Boss is always here, man. He's been around a lot, and
yes, we appreciate you. We
right
do. And Mr. Grapefruit says, should I cut Ty Chandler for Tyrod Taylor in a 12-team super flex? I think he's back next week.
If redraft 1,000% yes, dynasty 1,000% no.
I mean, if you're trying to win and you need a quarterback, I'll do it in any format. And I like Ty Chandler, but I mean, he's just not going to get all the work this year, so he's not going to help you win a championship this year. And if that's the best player you've got to drop,
just when you think the Vikings don't suck, they do.
Yeah, true. I really thought that game. I'm glad that I have to go to work so early that I don't even get to watch any of the games because I woke up to 10 to 12 and I was like,
man,
glad
Bryce,
I didn't waste
you would have hated football in the 90s.
Right?
That's what it looked like. It looked like a 1990s NFL game, division game, right? That's what division games used to be like a lot.
I was having Christian Ponder flashbacks.
So what are you saying to that, Bryce? You gonna answer?
Sorry. Yeah, I was in my head. I agreed with you, but and if you're trying to compete, yeah, I'd want Tyrod Taylor. But if like you're not competing and this is a dynasty league, I'd probably just rather hold on to Ty Chandler.
Yep.
Does Tyrod Taylor start if he's healthy?
Oh yeah, he starts. Well, I don't know.
DeVito's undefeated. They don't really want to win. Like I'm not even sure he starts now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But redraft-wise, I'm going to put a quarterback on my team versus any running back that's going to get 4 touches.
Oh,
break my heart on a weekly basis. Oh, see, now that's legit, man.
Baking those trees, baby.
We got
And
some Christmas
Italian
bacon going. And
focaccia.
focaccia? Hell yeah, Mr. Bakes a lot.
I don't know. What is
Oh.
focaccia?
We need to change Mr. to Sir.
I do accept mail-in
Yeah.
baked goods. Rob Kansas, what's up, guys? Connor, Mostert, or Ridley in PPR Flex? I can tell you we've already had these three in the same question way early when we started, and Ridley was our number one for this. So we're all on the Ridley train.
We are.
Absolutely. Good
to see you, Rob. Thanks for being here, man. He's another guy who's in here all the time.
Yes, Rob is here all the time. He's got more questions coming up, so we'll be chatting with him. And he wants me to make that Dookie sauce, booty juice or Dookie sauce.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Need to get that done, huh?
Hell
Big
yeah, mix it up.
Says those players don't seem like they support the name of infinite possibilities. Yeah, but that's where we're all at this week, right? We got some bad players we got to put in our lineups because of these buys.
Is the bye weeks this year like different than normal? I feel like now it's like they've had like 2 or 3 weeks of just like a bunch of teams on buys rather than like
so we
there's like a
the last 2 years they've done that.
I just might not notice it last year.
We've had 2 weeks with 6 teams on bye.
Okay.
So this is one of them. Week 7 was the other, but last week no one was on bye, right?
Right.
And next week we have Arizona and Washington on bye, and then we're done with the bye weeks. But it is, and I don't know if it's more international games because teams now have been given the option. So if you go to London or you go to Germany, you can take the bye the next week, or you can defer to another week. So maybe teams are doing that, figuring out how to travel and get back on the field in the same week and keeping their bye for a little later in the season. I don't know, but it seems Rick's right. It was like that last year too. So it's tough, but
yeah, it doesn't make any sense when you add a game and then you like make these really weird uneven weeks. It's just okay. So here we are with Rob with another question. We got Warren or Ford. Who are you going with, Sully?
I got Ford here, but I think this one's pretty close too. You guys chat. I'll look at my rankings, but I just think Ford's gonna have a good game today.
I'll go with Warren. I feel like the whole run game there is good. They've got a 50-50 split. There's a split in Cleveland, and I'll take the guy that I think is the better athlete, which is Jaylen Warren for me. It's close though.
I'm going with Ford as well. And the reason being is that Ford is like 75% of the split and Warren's like 50-50.
Yeah, that's true.
So Kareem Hunt's just not getting involved there, so I'm going to go with
I
Ford.
lied. I have Warren at 18 and Ford at 20, so I guess I'm starting Warren.
It's close for me too.
I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
it's a close one. It's definitely a valid question of which one of those two guys to start. I just feel like they're going more Najee's way in Pittsburgh, and that split's just.
And we saw it last week. If they need someone to finish the drive, Najee's going to finish the drive. Like we saw that last week where Warren got them down there and Najee just walked it in. So sucks for Warren. It's good for Najee.
And Daniel says, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know why I said it that way, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on. What? YouTube takes a cut? Yes, they take a cut. They got to. They're running the platform, and there's a billion people on here. Makes it easy on us, though, right? So, it's all good. We appreciate every penny.
These gajillion-dollar companies are gajillion-dollar companies for a reason. So, but yeah, what's better than YouTube?
We need YouTube to make money because if they don't, then I don't know where we go.
Well, I don't want to turn this into an economics or political thing, but I'm all for big business making money, man. It makes it easier for everybody else, so I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want to go back and start fresh on Twitch and have. I don't want to do the streams with like one person watching. I can't do it. I can't go backwards. So we need YouTube to just stay alive. Olave or Dell, full PPR. I mean, now we got Mike coming in with the first world problems.
Right.
I'm going Olave with everybody out for New Orleans.
I had Dell ranked higher because I wasn't sure Olave was going to play. So if I was to redo my rankings, they're probably pretty close to each other. I'll still stick with Dell. I think I trust CJ Stroud more than Derek Carr, but it's very close.
You guys have any like rookie players or young players that you talked about a ton and just got like no shares of them? That's like Tank Dell for me, which is super frustrating.
Jamar
not
Chase.
Olave. I did talk a lot about Olave, and I have a lot of Olave, but
I got a lot of Kyle Pitts. I talked a lot about Chase and drafted Kyle Pitts everywhere, and that's turned out freaking great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have some of those guys.
Yeah, I go Olave here, but it's crazy to see that Dell is in this conversation. Good for him. I knew he was going to be good, and I just freaking was like, I didn't have like draft capital in the second round. I feel like a lot where he was going like later second, early third.
You want to spin around, Rick? I'll pat you on the back too. You were dead right about that one.
I love Tank Dell. It was the draft combine story that got me to really like that combination.
I like that the quarterback's pounding the table at the draft for the team to draft the guy. I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they talked about in the combine, like they became friends, and then when he got drafted, he said, "Hey, tell him to draft me." He said, "I got you." I was like, oh, "You should have known they're gonna be good."
Big Boss says that's like finding out the owners of the diner took my waitress's tips. No, this is more like, I mean, they give us the big part of the split, so they just get a little bit for processing payments and stuff, and it's all good. It's all good. Big
that
Boss
waitress
says
is
Rob Kane knows.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm good.
Boss says ain't fooling me. I know Juicy J when I see him. Niner, is that Niner Mama? Is that what we got here? Or
Niner MMA, I think.
MMA.
Is that a 5
Niner
or
MMA
is that?
Says V. Bakes, you still here? Thanks for answering my question, guys. Kyler may be the one. Mr. Bakes a lot says flex 3. Algier, Khalif Raymond, Rondale, D'Ernest, or Royce in full PPR. Thanks, homies. Algier.
Top of the list, right?
Probably D'Ernest because he probably is going to get some work.
He's been getting decent amount, and he looks good. And I'll probably go Khalif here. He's quietly decent.
He's like that big play guy. He can have that screen pass that he takes for 60 yards and
4 catches, 65 yards a week. It seems like that's what he does. So I think he's my guy.
He's an electric smaller player for them. Yeah, I'll go with Algier. Khalif Raymond was actually pretty good at the beginning of the year when Jameson Williams was suspended. But D'Ernest, Khalif, and Algier for me as well. That's tough though.
It seems like Khalif has displaced Reynolds in that offense, and I don't know if that's even accurate, but that's what it looks like. It feels like Williams came back, Reynolds slipped a bit, and Khalif is just there, slot kind of running around, return kicks and catch 3 passes guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I got him on a lot of teams. He's starting in every one of my rosters where I have him this week, I think. That doesn't really say a whole hell of a lot, but
that's pretty tough.
But he's one of like my last guys that I was stressing over, but I like him this week. I think
my worst start this week is Malik Cunningham in one league. I mean, I'm trying to tank, so I don't care, but he's backup quarterback for the Patriots. That'll probably get some points.
Does he play today, do you think?
Yeah, they activated him and said there's packages that he will be in there, but that means he might be in for 2 plays.
Is Jones a healthy scratch then?
He's third string quarterback. I think they're keeping all of them.
All right, let's not turn this into the Patriots show again for the second week in a row, right? They suck. You don't want to start anybody on that team. You have them in your lineup because you have bad fantasy teams.
You have one guy to start on that team.
I'm tanking on purpose, okay?
Yeah.
2. You can still start Ramondre, and maybe you can flex Zeke. Maybe.
Yeah. Those 2. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Mr. Bakes a lot says, "What's up, Niner and Infinite?" And Niner says, "420 crew."
All right. Wake and bake.
Mr. Bakes
Let's
says,
go.
"Sleeping in, laughed my ass off." And then Big Boss says, "After your explanation, I understand." Niner MMA says, "Good morning, Bakes and Infinite, the Guardian Angel Knights. Hope he had fun as long as he get back by 9:30.
I love when the chat has conversations with themselves. It's awesome.
420 crew is in the house. Yes, sir. Irv Gotti says, "Full PPR, need 1 flex and 1 tight end. Joe Mixon, Deontay Johnson, or Dobbs. Brevin Jordan, Tanner Hudson, or Tucker Kraft." So let's start with the flex here. Mixon, Deontay, and Dobbs. I'm assuming we're going with Deontay here. This is who I'm going with. Deontay.
I'm with you.
I wanted
Who
to
the
be
Bengals play?
Mixon, but they play Jags on Monday night.
You cannot play Joe Mixon right now if you want to get anything out of it. The guy's brutal.
Yeah, he's not very good. He even last year he was volume based. He wasn't good. He was just got a ton of work.
And it's easy to say
fix that offensive line, man.
No, and it's easy to say
Try. They do try. They just
not
miss.
good at it.
I mean, Orlando Brown miss.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah,
who said that? I mean, you can go back and look. I said Orlando Brown when the Bears were trying to sign him. I said he is not the one. Do not sign Orlando Brown.
It's not like the Bengals.
Then Joe Kidder jumped my ass. Oh, he's the best left tackle in the NFL. The fuck he is. You guys just keep messing up your offensive line, and Joe Burrow never gets to play because of it. Sorry. Makes me angry. I want to watch Joe Burrow play, and they just keep getting it wrong when it comes to the offensive line. It like epically like Bears quarterback wrong.
The Bengals, Jamar Chase is one of the top 2, 3, 5, if you want to stretch it, wide receivers in football. They still should have drafted Penei Sewell, in my opinion.
I agree. And we got a couple more questions that we can answer here, and then we can talk about that a little bit because I'm getting that argument about my Bears right now, but I want to talk about the differences. So we're all on Deontay Johnson, right?
Yeah.
What tight end we going with?
Tanner Hudson.
Schultz is out, yes?
Schultz is out, yes.
Oh.
I might go Brevin Jordan for that reason. Because,
I might too.
Because Hudson and Kraft have kind of been like
they run 3 tight ends. They run 3 tight ends for the Bengals. Like they're all 3, like always in and out.
Well, yeah, because they're offensive line.
The offensive line conversation, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they put in whichever one blocks best on run plays, whichever one catches the best on pass plays. Yeah, I'll go Brevin Jordan.
I watched a lot of the Houston game last week because A, it was entertaining, and B, the Vikings had to wait a day to break my heart. So I was surprised at how much snaps Brevin Jordan was on the field for, even when Schultz was active and in the lineup. So I'm going to lean to him. I also like Tucker Kraft. I think he's legitimately decent enough to catch a ball like he did last week and get in the end zone. So
I thought Tanner Hudson was looking real good for like a 3-week stretch there, and then it seems like
I picked him up everywhere, and then
I
picked him up everywhere, and then Burrow got hurt, and it was like crap.
But welcome to all but 3 tight ends in the NFL, right? Like you
pretty much
don't know who's.
I don't even know I don't even know if it's 3 anymore. It might be 1 or 2 at this point. So
I think we've got like 3 to 4 safe guys, with only like one having a ceiling, and his name's Travis Kelce.
Well, the only reason I said because Andrews is out, right? So you lose that legit.
I still think you got Kittle, Kmet. I mean, Kmet's not like the ceiling, but he's like consistent almost week in, week out.
I would start Cole Kmet over almost any tight end other than Travis Kelce right now, and some weeks I would consider it because he's just getting targets and catching footballs.
Evan Ingram's he's like a 10 to 12 point guy. Like every week, he hasn't had the ceiling games that he had last year, but he doesn't.
Because he doesn't. All of a sudden, he doesn't score. He scored like 10 times last year, and now he doesn't score. It's like, damn it, get in the end zone, dude.
So there's a few guys that are like consistent without like the ceiling, the big monster games. But
I guess Hawkinson's still in that conversation too.
Oh, he would be number 2 for me right now. I think with Andrews.
He should have worn a Bears jersey on Monday. He would have had about 5 or 6 more catches.
Our linebackers are pretty.
Your defense is good.
Pretty good coverage.
Way better than people think it is.
So we all went with Brevin Jordan and Deontay on that for you, Irv Gotti. That got a little long-winded. Ronald, how you doing, buddy? Good morning, gents. Go Chase, Singletary, or Kirk in the flex full PPR. I'm going Chase here.
You have to. I'm a little worried with Higgins coming back that he dilutes the targets, and Chase only made plays on tipped balls, which was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But if you're a quarterback in this league and you get to play and you have a guy like that, don't you throw him the football? So I think it has to be him. I think Singletary's peak is he's coming down the backside of the mountain now with Pierce coming back and them splitting a little bit.
And the Broncos defense has been pretty good the last few weeks.
Yeah, I saw some numbers, like if you take out that 70-point game, they've given up like almost nothing since. You still run on them though, so I think there's a legitimate opportunity there. And Christian Kirk seems to be the guy that benefits the least from Zay Jones playing. So I'm going to go with the best player here and just take Chase.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Chase as well, especially with Calvin Ridley kind of taking over now and Kirk kind of sitting in that number 2 spot we expected him to be. Pump the brakes on him a little bit and go Chase.
All right, defense, Dolphins or Falcons. So we have Dolphins versus the Commanders, and we got Falcons versus the Jets.
Give me Atlanta. Tim Boyle, folks.
I'll go with the Dolphins. I think they just have the best. Usually when it goes to defenses for me, I look at which one can get the most sacks. And the Falcons really don't have much of a pass rush.
Howell does get sacked a lot. That's fair.
Here's my thing. Well,
there's a decent amount of picks.
But
he gets hit more than a
the
pinata.
other thing too is that the Jets and Falcons game could just turn into a pure run game where they're not even dropping back very much, right?
Yeah,
it could.
Both those teams do that, so I'm going to go Dolphins as well. What are
Bryce,
you laughing about?
You like that one?
He said he gets hit more than a pinata.
Sam Howell gets hit more than a pinata.
That's funny.
That is true. Mixon, Connor, Mostert, sit 2. Okay, so which one we starting out of these 3?
Mostert.
I'm going
I'm
Connor.
going Mostert. I'm going Mostert here.
Who are you going? Rick? What do you got? Connor?
I said Connor, but
we haven't bet in a while, you and me. This isn't the one, but
this ain't it. Dude, like I Mostert feels like the easy answer, but it feels also like I'm going Connor. I just with Achane back, with Wilson back, like those 3 haven't been in the backfield together like all year, maybe a quarter when Achane tried coming back, but I have no idea what they're going to do. It's probably going to work pretty well, but who's going to be the benefactor of it? I don't know. Is it going to be multiple? I'm going to go with Connor. I'm going to go with Connor here.
Washington has a new defensive coaching staff as well, so maybe there's something there. How's that for defensive coordinator? You trade Sweat and you trade Chase, and then you can your DC 2 weeks later after you realize that your defense is shit. That's nice.
It was shit before that, so it's
but it's like you get rid of your bookends and you wonder why your bookshelf fell down. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, I think that was probably part of the reason why he was getting fired was because they suck. So they traded those guys, and
that's fair. Rivera's next. So
Khalil says, "Morning, fellas. Need help on my cheesy mess. For flex, pick one: Dylan, Reed, or Watson." So by cheesy mess, he means it's all Green Bay. Thanks and appreciate it. Good vibe. So
who are those cheeseheads
today, right?
That's what I wanted to know.
They're gonna have to throw the ball a ton.
Chiefs. I don't think I'm playing Dylan against the Chiefs.
I want Reed here.
They're gonna have to throw it a lot.
Dylan's last for me.
Yeah, they're gonna have to throw it a lot. I feel like Watson is gonna get a lot of Snead.
Watson's easily the last on the list for me here.
Dylan would be easily the last for me, but Reed
I'm going Watson. I'm going Watson.
Reed. I feel like Watson's going to get way too much Janarius Snead for my liking, and he feels like he should play for the Chiefs because he doesn't catch the ball most of the time when it's thrown to him.
Snead made A.J. Brown look like Devontae Parker. That kid is legit.
Don't do that to him, though.
The reason I go with Reed there is because Reed's going to touch the ball in 2 different ways. He's going to catch some passes when they need to throw. He's going to get some runs as well.
I'll do $5 against Watson versus
Let's
Reed.
go. I'll take that.
I will do that, and I'll give you both of them.
I mean, why do you negotiate against yourself?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't want both. I don't want. You know what? I don't want both. I just
Fine.
Watching you 2 fucks.
So I negotiated.
I'll take both. I'll take both.
No, I know you don't get that. I'm not offering that.
So I negotiated against myself, and Rick gives me shit. And Bryce counter
I know,
against
and
himself.
I called you both
I know.
for
I know.
arguing against yourselves.
I want it to be a fair 1v1. I just want
1v1 it is. I will take Reed all damn day.
Sorry, guys. Sometimes
Christian
we
Watson's
forget
going for
you're
at
watching
least
us for advice.
200 today.
Conklin or Brevin Jordan, full PPR. I'm going to go Brevin Jordan again just because of the upside of that offense and what we've seen the tight end do in that offense. And they have a quarterback.
So if this was a betting show, I wouldn't be on it, which I'm sure people have already figured out. But being a fantasy show,
this year, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's a weird year. This is Brevin Jordan, and I don't really like either one of them. But who gives you the most? Who gives you the better chance to score a touchdown? The guy who plays in an offense that has scored one touchdown in I think 3 years, or the guy that's playing with the rookie of the year, who's arguably maybe the MVP as well. So it's Brevin Jordan for me.
Yeah, you mean Brevin Jordan? Those tight ends have been pretty invisible, and
so Brevin Jordan came out in the same draft class as Kyle Pitts. Is Brevin Jordan a better tight end than Kyle Pitts?
No.
Stop. I'm just wondering.
Okay. Aiden wants to know. He needs to pick 2 running backs and 1 tight end. He's got Kyren, Gibbs, Pacheco, Taysom, and Muth. I think the running backs are Kyren and Pacheco, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I like Gibbs, but there's one major difference
Pacheco this week
with
too.
These 3 guys, right? And that's Pacheco gets most of the work for Kansas City, and Kyren gets most of the work for the Rams, and Gibbs has Monty in that backfield. Gibbs is the most talented out of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. I'll go Kyren and Pacheco.
And Detroit's got a tough run defense that they're facing this week. So now you're battling both the tough run defense with a running back by committee. I'll go with the 2 guys that are going to get a bunch of the work, and I believe Pacheco's in like a juicy matchup as well.
It's Green Bay. It's not terrible. So I have Kyren at 5, Gibbs at 6, Pacheco at 10. So I think you're good either way, however you want to slice and dice this one. I will go with Kyren and Gibbs because I think, again, Gibbs gives you 2 opportunities to touch the football, both through the air and on the ground. And tight end?
Is McKinnon back? Because when
McKinnon's
not in,
he's out.
Pacheco catches passes when McKinnon's not in there.
How many games has McKinnon missed? The last 2?
I don't know.
Missed the last 1 for sure.
Let's look at this. Isaiah Pacheco. But we got to move, too. We
all right. Tight end wise, I think I'm going to go with Taysom here, just based on they're beat up to crap, and they're going to touch. He's going to touch the ball in 4 different ways today, so I'm going to go with him.
I'm going to go Freiermuth. I just think with this new offense, he's going to get targeted a bunch. We've seen him. He's been productive his entire career. He had a really good rookie season, which was one of the better rookie seasons we've seen from a tight end. And then that offense was just shit. And now I think that they've moved on. He is going to be a focal part of their offense. So
I just need to see it more than
you
once.
guys saying every way banged up. Does that mean Rashid Shaheed's out? Is that who it is?
He is out.
What about Jawan Johnson?
I didn't see.
Jawan Johnson's active. He'll play. He's a good dart as well.
So it's literally just Olave and Jawan.
And Olave's playing, I believe.
Yeah, he is. Okay, so I guess I'll go with Taysom Hill. But I can't argue either way. Muth has been. I've said Taysom Hill the last 2 weeks, and he just hasn't found that end zone. Seems like that he's been doing all year. But I can't blame you for going Muth. It's close for me.
So I don't know what weeks McKinnon has missed. I didn't look at that, but I do know that last week without McKinnon, Pacheco had 5 targets for 5 receptions and 34 yards.
That's all you need to know.
That's 8 points.
And scored twice on the ground. So he had 20 touches last week. That's why I'm going that way. Aiden said that was full PPR. We're good. I don't think that changed anything. Or Gotti says, thank you. We appreciate you guys. So just know that. Puka or Rashid, Dolphins, Bucks, and Falcons D. I'm going back to the Dolphins on the D. We already talked about that one a little bit earlier, and they were first the Falcons in that question. And I'm not going to be throwing the Bucks over either of those teams, I don't think. So Puka or Rasheed Rice? Which one you going with, Bryce? Had to rhyme that shit.
Yeah,
Call
I
me
guess.
MC Rick.
I guess I'll go with.
Wiki whack.
I guess I'll go with who I think's the better. Well, I know the better receiver here. I'll go with Puka. I don't like it. The matchup makes it really, really close. I'll barely go Puka here. I can't argue either way. Sully?
Puka in Atlanta for me. Jerick McKinnon only missed last week, Rick, so your point is bang on.
Man, I'm going Rasheed Rice here.
Yeah,
Man, that's tough. That's tough.
I can't blame you. That is a tough one.
I'm going Rasheed by a little bit.
Yeah.
Brian Alexander says, Achan, Pacheco, Moss, Breece Hall, full PPR start 2. Well, I just talked about Pacheco. He's in there for me. He's the top dog out of these 4 for me.
Moss is my number 1 out of these.
Mine too. I haven't ranked three. I have Moss ranked 3rd this week.
You got Breece Hall over Pacheco?
I'm not.
What's up, Bryce?
You got Breece Hall over Pacheco? That's what's coming down to for me.
I do. I have Breece at 8, Pacheco at 10.
Man.
Pacheco's number 1 here for me. I'm going Pacheco and Breece Hall.
I'm going to go
Moss is number 4 for me.
I'm going Moss and Breece. Moss is number 4 behind Achan?
Yeah. Pretty easy. Again, Tennessee, like I understand he had a big game against Tennessee last time, but Tennessee's run defense is still good.
But you even said before that we don't know how that's going to shake out in Miami and the splits. And I understand what you're saying. Like, obviously, Achan has the ability to touch the ball 4 times and get 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Moss is going to get a ton of volume. And I think he's in a good spot against a team that pretty much has quit. Although Tennessee somehow hasn't lost at home this year. And Breece is Breece. So I'm going to take those 2. I'm going to take Moss and Hall.
Tennessee's
it's a pretty good problem, man. In a week like this, these 4 guys.
Backs this year.
Yeah.
Tennessee is 11th against running backs. So it's not last year's Tennessee.
Moss lit him up in the first matchup. So, and I know a lot of it was one big play. I think he had a 65-yard touchdown, but
it was multiple big plays. He had like several runs of plus 10, 15 yards. He looked good in that game.
Richardson was still around then, so I think that had a lot to do with it too. But anyway,
Pacheco and Hall for me. Who would you start out of Hill and Freiermuth at the? So, I went Freiermuth, and you guys both went Hill, right?
I did.
Correct.
I can't blame you for going either way on that one.
Yeah.
Mr. Bakes-a-Lot says, start 2 in full PPR, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, London, or Dobbs. I'm going Ridley and Garrett Wilson. They're the 2 best. And even though the quarterback issue in New York, I'm going Ridley and Garrett Wilson.
It's really not. Like,
it's better than it was.
And the other 2 options aren't anything super anything to write home about. So, yeah, it's Garrett Wilson and Ridley rather easily for me.
Ridley and Dobbs for me.
Drew Williams to start 2 full PPR. Hall, Achan, Mostert, Gibbs, or ETN. I mean, I just have all of them. What up? Why don't I undervalue running back too much.
Hall and ETN. I'm just going to go with the ones that I think get the most touches.
I have ETN ranked 7th and Hall 8th. Those are my choices.
Why
is everybody's team better than mine?
That's what Seriously. I'm over here struggling with.
This is bullshit.
I'm over here like, is Aaron Jones active today? No.
That's what I looked at not too long ago.
I've looked at that 5 times in the last 4 days. Is he practicing?
What did we find out? Is he out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forget it. Throw him in the trash. It's over.
I've got a question later after we get these answered because I don't know what. Yeah, Hall and ETN for me as well. Patrick says, start Bucks or Browns defense. I have both rostered. Should I drop the Browns so I can stream Houston next week against the Jets, or are Browns still the better option? If I have the Browns, I'm playing them every week they play. That's
lock and load, man.
Yeah,
I'm not
the Bucks are not an option this week. Their two middle linebackers are not even playing today. I know
the Bucks are not an option any week.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna look at them season to date. It can't be good.
Yeah, and you got both. Like they had two great middle linebackers. That's the only good thing really about their defense and Vita Vea. And when you got two of your three best players out, especially signal callers, that's no bueno. They can't be them, and they got barely any pass rush. It's the Browns by a wide margin, stupid wide.
Big Boz says Indy is the defense for Week 14. Mark
Chargers
says happy football day. Full point PPR. We need 2. Hall, Montgomery, Brian Robinson. Hall and Montgomery for me.
Hall and Montgomery for me. That game, the Washington plays the
Miami
Dolphins. Yeah, Brian Robinson is not going to be the main guy out there catching passes if it gets ugly quickly.
I don't know. That's what people
say. He has been the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been catching some passes, and he's got some long.
He catches passes. He catches passes when the game is close, but when the game starts to get out of hand, they do put in their pass catching back for more obvious pass catching downs. So if the game can
Brian
be
Robinson
close,
has more explosive receptions this year than Antonio Gibson does.
Yeah, he might, but he's still it's the utilization of Antonio Gibson in clear passing situations is higher. So like if this game gets out 2-3 scores within the first quarter or two, it could be Antonio Gibson for most of the game. Just don't.
It's Hall and Monty for me as well, but Monty and Robinson are close in my rankings. They're about 3 apart, 19 and 23. So Brian Robinson is way more productive fantasy-wise than I ever thought he would be. I didn't like him coming out. I didn't like him as a draft pick that fell, and then he got shot, and there's an amazing story that he came back from that, and he's been good. So what are you going to do?
Mark says, need 2 flex as well. Sutton, Downs, Dotson, or the running back you didn't pick above. And the running back you didn't pick above was
Brian
Robinson. And that's who I'm going with out of all of these players.
I'll go with Sutton.
Sutton easily on the top of that list for me.
Yeah, I'm going Sutton, but after that, I'm going Brian Robinson over the other 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm going with B. Robinson. Yeah, it was clear for me that Robinson was
it's probably the same answer for me. Just looking at my flex rankings. Yeah.
Big Boss says, thanks, guys. Hope everyone has a great weekend. See you next week. We will be here.
Hell yeah.
We got 4 more weeks left? 1 more month for Sunday mornings.
Yep.
Have to enjoy all these. And then Jew says, thanks, fellas. Hey, we appreciate all you guys. If you would, before you dip sauce, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed and you want to watch us every week, listen, guys, 2024 is going to be just a lot.
What do the kids say? Off the chain or some shit like that?
I think off the chain was relevant maybe before I was born.
Yeah. That was like when I was young and you were old, Sully, and now we're both old. And Bryce, hey, I said we're both old. I did just turn 30.
Oh, hey! Happy belated birthday, my man!
Thank you, sir.
How'd the casino go? Did we make it rain?
I lost $375, so it could have been a lot worse.
That's you know what? I go for dinner. I go for dinner and I spend that much money, so who cares?
Jeez. I go for dinner and I get.
Don't ever talk about the exchange again.
Bread.
If you're spending $375 at dinner,
if I went out for dinner with my wife on my birthday, we would go somewhere nice, probably have a bottle of wine. So it's going to be that much. I'm not like Friday night going out.
I thought you meant like on a weekekly basis.
I did too. I was like, Jesus.
I was like, this dude's always complaining about.
I was like, no wonder he's working 14-hour
out of all of us.
14-hour days.
I would much rather go and check out Bryce's food truck than I would half these fancy restaurants I eat in. I'll tell you that.
Rochita says Joe Mixon, Garrett Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Rashad White, he's in. Devonta Smith, Cortland Sutton, start 3. Rachaad White's the number 1 out of all of these. If you look at Rachaad White's last 5 weeks, he has been on fire.
So
And
remember
you guys know I'm not a Rachaad White guy, but you can't argue what he's been doing. Just inarguable.
Last week, I said he always has that one big play that gives him like 5 or 6 fantasy points, give him a nice floor. And I swear I turned the Buccaneers game on, and he takes a run on the right side for like 55 yards. And I was like, there it is.
And he did it on the ground, right?
Yeah. Every time I watch him turn that game on from the minute, I maybe watch 5 minutes a week of that game, and I swear he always has a big play.
And I think he's one of the worst running backs in the NFL, but he's so dynamic catching the ball. And I'm telling everybody how smart I am that he can't run the ball worth shit. And then he rips one off the end for like 50. And I'm like, well, let's just stop talking. I struggle here with the third option because I think White and Smith are,
yeah, they're the easy ones, right?
But do I go Mostert or Sutton? Here's an interesting thing that I saw. The Niners are coming into this game against Philadelphia this week on 10-day rest. This will be the Eagles' 3rd game in 13 days. How the hell is that possible?
Well, that's every time you play Thursday and then Sunday, right?
And then and one of them went to overtime last week. So the Eagles scare me a bit this week. But I think I'm White, Smith, Sutton here. Hard to set Mostert, but I think I am.
That's where I'm at.
White, Smith, Garrett Wilson.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll just go to the best player. Add my third.
That's where I'm going. I'm with you on that.
I like Sutton too. He's really close. He's really close.
We talked last week. We talked Sutton up, talk him up, and then last week wasn't a good one.
Sorry, what did Garrett Wilson do the last month?
He had like 15 points last week. He gets he's got the best. He and Sutton are both very similar when it comes to like just not big weeks, but very safe. Okay. They just get safe. They're safe floors, and
all right.
That's all it is.
I want this as our bet, then, Rick. I'll take Sutton. You can have Wilson.
I guess I'm included.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll just watch.
So last week against the Dolphins, Garrett Wilson was 7 for 44 and a touchdown. The week before was shit. He was 2 for 9 yards, but other than that, he's had at least 7 receptions for 5 of the last 6 weeks.
He gets a ton of volume.
Yeah,
a ton of it. And that's all it is.
Yeah,
terrible volume, or like in the sense of like the quality of volume, but still volume nonetheless.
7 or more receptions in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 8 weeks.
Rodgers doesn't come back this year at all. You think, right?
No, he does. I think he's the guy that needs to proved everybody that he was.
You think he just comes back maybe for the last game?
Well, they're saying week 16, so that's 16, 17, 18. That's the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I guess. But if they're not in playoff contention in any way, shape, or form, I think if anything, they could just play in the last game.
He will play this year. I will put money on that. He will play. He will.
I don't think he does.
He's too arrogant. He wants to prove to everybody that he is at 40 years old, that he is special, and he got back faster than anybody else has gotten back. He will play.
He kind of is right now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's just the guy that'll do it. I'm going Ridley over Rice for Tyler. What about you?
Ridley.
Sorry, I lost track of what we were even doing here. Ridley for me as well. Yeah, I changed my mind. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely going to play this year. Nobody likes the spotlight and the look at me more than him. So, yeah, done.
Mr. Bakeslot says Singletary or ETN in full PPR. I'm going ETN, but I understand the question.
Yeah.
ETN.
And then he says also flex 2 full PPR. Nico, Devonta Smith, Olave, and Dobbs. This is easily Devonta and Olave for me.
Smith and Olave, hoping that Eagles game is a shootout. Should be a good game.
Nico could end up scoring the most, but I'm
easily.
I'm never stopping or starting him.
Dobbs is not even an option.
I think the Niners just mud stomp Philadelphia today. By
for
the way,
Jew here, if this is redraft, then this is tough because Achane is the one that I want, but I just don't know if he's healthy. I'm worried about him.
The only way I make this,
I would trade either of them for Devonta Smith if I
wouldn't.
I'm not.
It's roster dependent for me.
I'm never playing both of these guys. So I'm picking one, and I'm getting Devonta Smith, who I'm starting every week.
then I'm taking. If that's the case, I'm trading Achane for Devontae Smith because weirdly enough, I'm more confident Mostert stays healthy for us this season than Achane.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's a
He
weird
was
thing to
healthy
say.
last year too. I will say I'm not making the trade. Yeah, he was. I think I'm not making the trade. This is dumb, but if I had Smith, I'm not trading him for one of those two running backs. And if I had one of those two running backs, I'm not trading him for Smith. I'm not doing it either way.
You wouldn't trade one of the running backs for Smith?
Give me Smith. Smith's the one I want the most out of all three of these, so I don't care which one you trade. I want.
It could be rostered. It could be rostered.
We're sitting here talking about how we've sat Mostert, we've sat Achane on a lot of these questions. If Devonta Smith comes up in a question, how often, if you're starting two wide receivers and a flex, is Devonta Smith not going to be in a starting lineup?
He's going to be in there most times.
Yeah,
most times.
That's what I'm looking at. I was looking at Mostert last year. I know he did miss some games, but
he also didn't get the starting job. He only
missed one.
Yeah, he didn't get the starting job till like really halfway through the season.
Yeah, bro.
I don't make this trade, and I know we want to get out of here, so I'll be really quick. Is if I'm on the Mostert Achane side and we're heading into the playoffs, I've got my ass covered if one of them gets hurt. That's why I don't make this trade, because I have more insurance and I'm safer with the running backs. And I'm not a handcuff guy, but I think at this time of year is when you start looking at that. So that's why I don't do that.
For me, Devonta Smith can win you
the
league. And if both of those guys stay healthy, you have major issues. I'm going to take the guy I know is going to be in my starting lineup the rest of the year. Like, I'm not sitting Devonta Smith.
I got to look at his games logs.
Devonta Smith's been really good lately.
The last 2 weeks he has.
Once AJ Brown's streak ended, Devontae Smith's done well.
So Smith has had double-digit targets twice this year. The last 2 weeks he's had 8 targets, and last 2 weeks he's had 16 targets, 13 catches, over almost 300 yards. 200 yards, and he's scored. So he's been really good the last 2 weeks. But he was 3 for 51, 4 for 49, 1 for 6, 4 for 28. Those are all on his resume this year as well. 7 for 47. Those are good in PPR, but
I'm still not sitting him ever. I mean, we can go back and look at. My thing is, I don't want the two guys on the same team. I understand it's a handcuff, but
I understand
it's a wasted roster spot as well because you're never starting both of them.
This question pisses me off.
Pitts for me.
Pitts.
Yeah. I want to look and see how many times Algier's outscored Pitts this year, and I bet
Algier hasn't done much the past few weeks.
And it's got Pitts.
The Rain and the 49er you guys also told me to. Yeah, thanks for losing me my week last week. By the way, guys, he told me to play Jonnu Smith, and he dudded.
I did not tell you to play Jonnu Smith, did I?
Yeah, over Jonathan Mingo and Chris. What's his name?
But
Mingo, like the first play of the game, I typed in the chat, Mingo, big play alert.
I feel like I said Mingo.
No, you didn't. You both said Jonnu.
Did you know that Kyle Pitts is tight end 18?
Yeah. Rain in the 49er game makes me tilt away from wide receivers if they are close. No, it has to be windy for me to get away from the wide receivers. And
25% chance of rain and the wind is 3 miles an hour. Don't sweat it. It might not even rain.
Juice says, good conversation. Really appreciate it. All right. We're out of here.
Later.